All right, let's get it, Broncos Country. Monday edition. Or should we say? Andrew Mason, Denver Broncos 1-2. Should be 3-0. Should be a team that everybody fears. Should be a team that has designs on making a deep postseason run. Should be a team that's playing up to their potential. Broncos aren't doing any of that. Here to talk about it today with you, kind of take the pulse of Broncos Country. How do you feel? I did a 4-hour radio show, did a 1-hour post-game show last night, 4-hour radio show today. I got to tell you, Broncos Country, I'm still all worked up. I'm still all ticked off. And yeah, I am just disappointed, dismayed, somewhat disgusted, and I want to see better from this Broncos team. Here to talk about it with you today as Mace gets back from LA. We do have a clip of Mace here to get his thoughts on the show, but I really want to take your pulse and see how you're feeling. And we've had quite the reaction on social networking and certainly on our YouTube channel. What's up, YouTube? About Bo Nix and where Bo Nix is at this year. You know, people saying sophomore slump, people making fun of me because I said sophomore jump. And yeah, I still believe in Bo Nix. These games to start this season aren't going to make me change my mind on Bo Nix. He is struggling more than I thought. Not hitting those open targets, those deep shots, which I guess is 50th on Sean Payton's list of things to be concerned about. More on that in a little bit. But for me, like, these first 3 games don't mean Bo Nix sucks. And I've seen too much of that. It's actually kind of, you know what really grinds my gears? Is when after 3 games, people are jumping off the Bo Nix bandwagon. To that I say, go. Don't need you. If you're going to jump off the Bo Nix bandwagon after 3 games, then see ya. I'm not going to let you back on when this thing turns around, when this team gets better, when this team plays better. They are better than this. They have better talent, even without Dre Greenlaw, even without Evan Ingram, although middle of the field would be nice, Sean. Some slant routes, some quick slants. That would be nice, Sean. So I think Sean Payton's play calling could help Bo Nix a little bit. More J.K. Dobbins. I got thoughts on that a little bit later. But first and foremost, I am not changing my mind on Bo Nix. I'm still going to say he needs to play better, though. I'm still going to say that even with a clean game, he's got to set his feet. His mechanics are generally poor this year, and that is pretty much opposite of what he was after the first month of the season last year. So where is Bo Nix at in your mind? I'm really not going to tolerate any Bo Nix sucks comments. So say them how much you want in the live chat. They're not going to make it on the screen. Just because there's what's the old quote from the lady? It was like can't remember what it was, but like ain't anybody got no time for that? Like, yeah, I don't need time to put up Bo Nix sucks comments. Bo Nix doesn't suck. Bo Nix is disappointing this year. Bo Nix will be better. I have full confidence that he will. And it doesn't make me a homer. It doesn't make me blind. It just means that 3 games isn't enough to say Bo Nix is now washed away his entire rookie season. So I want to know how you all are feeling. Victory Lap chimes in, disappointed but Gucci. Jason says, chill, team will be fine. Bo Nix will be fine. Growing pains, but better days ahead. Exactly. Why can't more people see the world like Jason sees it? Why can't more people see this Broncos team exactly like that? Team will be fine. Nix will be fine. Better days ahead. You took 2 teams with a combined record of 6-0 to the brink. You led in the fourth quarter all the way up to the final seconds in both games. The Broncos aren't on the same tier as the Buffalo Bills or the Baltimore Ravens. They're not on the same tier of the Los Angeles Chargers, but they're closer than you think. So after a post-game show and 4 hours of radio, I still don't feel great, but I'm mainly mad at those in Broncos country. And I'm never going to tell anyone how to fan, but man, I'm going to tell you how to fan. If you're jumping off Bo Nix's bandwagon, you're not a Broncos fan. Period. You have questions about him? Sure, that's fair. But I've seen people call him Paxton Lynch in this chat room for this channel. Ridiculous. I saw people today saying stuff like Bo's terrible and they got to think draft, and it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So let's stop. Let's watch Bo Nix. Let's see what he can do. By the way, Jeremy with the greatest one here. Not great, Bob. Yeah, and Jesus, my man, I wish the Bengals game was Thursday. Yeah, get this taste out your mouth, and you've got to wait an extra day to do that, as the Monday night game against the Bengals coming up this week. David says, to the point that the Broncos are a joke. Now, that's David's opinion, and I think that's a fair opinion for people out there that are really dismayed by this team. Are they everything they're cracked up to be? Well, they're not everything that Sean Payton said they were, at least to begin the season. How can they get there? I like what Johnny says here. Johnny Kawasaki. Love Cowies. I understand this is Bo's second year. I can be patient while he grows. Exactly. Not everything is a microwave society. Not everything has to be now, right now. Why isn't Bo Nix better right now? Like, not everything has to be that. And because he's not yet grown in that way, it doesn't mean that Bo Nix is now terrible. So I like what Patient 1991 says here. Frustrated, but this fan base is a little embarrassing, but also those two losses were embarrassing. Bo has to be better, and I still think he's going to figure it out. Exactly. Finally, sane and rational minds have infiltrated our YouTube channel. So thank you. Thank you, Patient. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Johnny. Like all you guys in the chat room, because this is the way. The Mandalorian Grogu trailer just came out today, and well, as you can tell, I'm a little bit of a nerd. So of course I watched the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. This is the way. This is the way. Support the team, believe in the team. It's not like these guys are terrible. I said it on Dover and Cecil, and I'll say it today. Like, it's not like, oh, these guys can't play. Oh, these guys aren't what you thought they were. No, these guys can play. These guys can make plays. And it's one of those things where, okay, where are they then? What's their story? Because they're not where they need to be. They're underachieving. Samuel says it perfectly. Disappointed, but we have the talent. Got to figure it out. Wholeheartedly agree. Going to talk about it tomorrow on Dover and Cecil. And thank you all out there. I'll take a brief moment to thank everyone for listening to Dover and Cecil and spreading the word about the tribe. Our numbers are incredible. Our numbers are growing. Our numbers are getting stronger. And it feels nice to be number one. And we can do that on the fan and on Dover and Cecil because of you guys. So tribe is showing up. Our OBT audience is growing. Our YouTube channel is growing. So again, thank you guys. Let's talk about this team. Let's cheer on this team. Let's root for this team. And let's figure this thing out. Right? The last thing any of us need to be doing is jumping off the bandwagon, jumping off a Bo, questioning Sean Payton, like all the ridiculousness. Anyway, I'll learn how to speak English someday. In the meantime, I'm going to watch football. I'm going to love this Broncos team and just see what they can do, right? And see if they can play up to their potential. Jeremy says Sean Payton needs to readopt his anonymous donors philosophy as the team needs to refocus its approach to winning games, especially close games. Almost all of these games are going to be close. Almost every single one is going to be close. You're not good enough to blow teams out of the water, especially teams that are good themselves. The Colts are good. Listen, I can't stand Daniel Jones. I really don't like Colts fans. I don't think Seth DeFlo is very talented. That's just me. I'm bitter over the way that game finished, but I'm here to tell you the Colts look legit in their division. They'll be there. You might have a playoff rematch at the Colts, because of the way they're looking. Obviously, we know the Chargers in control of the AFC West because of the way they're looking. That is a concern. The Broncos went toe-to-toe with them. They fell short, though. They're 1-2, and that stings, man. It really, really stings. Victory lap feels frosty. Jesus says, yeah, Sean's protecting Bo, not making him accountable in public. I think behind the scenes, there's probably a little bit different. Clean up the bonehead mistakes and we're good. And that's the problem. Victory lap on the money is always like, it's your own mistakes. Listen, the other team is taking the win, right? We're not taking anything away from the Chargers or the Colts, but we know the Broncos are making mistakes that cost them the game. And the Broncos are better than that. So that's what needs to happen. Let's go, fellas. This is where I need to be. TBD 007. Thank you. Appreciate that. Again, I got a little video here from Andrew Mason and his thoughts on this game. And we'll get to Mace. But before, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at ramoslaw.com. Okay, so Bo Nix needs to be better, needs to hit those deep shots, needs to have better footwork to do that. Again, Broncos Country in the live chat, leave me your comments. What do you think? How do you feel today? We're, basically 24 hours removed from the game. Are you feeling better? I'm starting to get a little bit better, but still perturbed that I have to deal with the Bo Nix sucks crowd because he doesn't suck. And it's clear and it's obvious that Bo Nix doesn't suck. He needs to hit those deep shots. He needs to hit those guys and score those touchdowns, hit the Broncos those wins. That's the bottom line. And I always go professional wrestler when I get like this. So, and that's the bottom line, Mr. Tagliabue. Anyway, let's hear from our buddy Andrew Mason, his thoughts, including thoughts on the defense in that Chargers 2-minute drill. Here's our guy, Andrew Mason.
Thanks, Cease. A lot to sift through, of course, on the day after this Broncos loss. And we're going to start at the end. The Broncos coming apart and not being able to finish out this game. Of course, first, there's the Chargers touchdown drive ending in Justin Herbert, an objectively great quarterback, breaking out of the pocket and finding Keenan Allen despite tight coverage from Riley Moss. But let's go to the 2-minute drive there where Herbert dices up the Broncos, because that's something that is becoming kind of a concern dating back to late last year. So I dove into some of the history of the Broncos with Vance Joseph, either as head coach or defensive coordinator, in 2-minute situations. Some interesting findings. So there have been 22 situations in the last 5.5 minutes of games in 2017, 2018 when he was head coach, and from 2023 onward as defensive coordinator. So 22 drives. And of those 22, 8 times the Broncos have given up scores, including yesterday, including last week. Another 3 of those drives ended in missed or blocked field goals. So you're looking at 11 of 22, 50% of the time when the Broncos are out there with a tie game or 1-score lead in the last 5.5 minutes, and it's time to protect that lead, the opponent gets into range of what they need, either a field goal or a touchdown. So that's a bit of a concern. Now, overall, in recent times, the scoring rate on 2-minute end-of-game drives in close and late situations and overtime, it's roughly 30%. So the scoring rate is actually, if you count the missed field goals and take those into account, 8 out of 22 overtime, that's actually pretty reasonable. But the recent rate is concerning. Since Jaquan McMillan ensured the Broncos got off the field successfully against the Browns last December with a pick 6 off Jameis Winston, it's been rough going for the Broncos in 2-minute defense. You go to 2-minute and late game defense. Go to the game against Cincinnati late last season, and there were multiple opportunities. The Broncos were successful, for example, early in overtime, forcing a punt, the first punt they forced that day. But then later on in overtime, the Bengals drive to a field goal attempt that Cade York misses from 33 yards, and then another chance, York hits it and ends the game. So you have that, and then of course you have last week, the Colts driving to a field goal, and then this week, the Chargers driving to a field goal. In between there, a success against the Titans, getting off the field on downs / takeaway because it was a 4th down, and Shadé Barron recovered the fumble there after the sack of Cam Ward. So you have a success, but you have more failures than successes, and of course the success came against a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start on the road, which, as we've discussed, is usually a prescription for disaster. So it's something the Broncos are going to have to improve. Their recent form in 2-minute defense, pretty poor. So that's something that you have to think about. And I'm sure that's something that was one of the concerns that Sean Payton had. That was one of the 50 things on his mind other than Bo Nix's deep balls, as he discussed at his conference call on Monday morning.
Are we talking about the deep ball again? Meaning the conversations relative with the Q would not be those 2 deep balls on 3rd and like 23 or 3rd and 11. The conversation would be, throughout the game relative to plays we're getting in and out of, location throws, 3rd down. I mean, but a lot's been made, I think, of the 2 long balls, and I'll be honest with you, and that again, driving in this morning, that'd be like 50th on my to-do list item.
So the deep balls aren't a concern, but late game defense should be a concern. What should also be a concern is 29 first downs allowed by the defense. The Broncos have only had 10 games in their history allowing more than 29 first downs. You've stacked that on a game last week where they gave up 450 plus for the 4th time over the last 9 contests dating back to the 1st of last December, and you still have some troubling trends on the defensive side. And on the offensive side, you have a game where the Broncos did not have much consistency, aside from that period around halftime, immediately before in the 2-minute, and immediately after coming out of the dressing room. It was not a great day for the offense at all. In fact, it was pretty poor in terms of generating consistent drives. Broncos going 3 and out on 6 of 11 non-kneel down drives. So on the one hand, the scoreboard says they're close. On the other hand, there appears to be a lot to fix. Fortunately for the Broncos, they should have a pretty good chance to get some of these things remedied against the Cincinnati team that looked very much disjointed and out of sorts against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. So that's it from here in Los Angeles. I'm headed back to Denver. Cease, take it the rest of the way. Appreciate you carrying the freight today, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday. I'll see all of you watching the show on Tuesday. Take care.
That's our buddy Andrew Mason right there, everybody, with his thoughts on this game. I thought that was interesting numbers about Vance Joseph's defense in terms of getting in position in those last-minute drives and how 50% of them you'll have a scoring opportunity with Vance Joseph there. So we're taking the temperature of Broncos country today. We're kind of settling things down here, like nobody's jumping off the Bo Nix bandwagon. I think it's ridiculous to suggest that. I roll my eyes in the back of my head anytime I see somebody tweeting that or texting that or posting that as a YouTube comment. I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. Don't have to, honestly. We know that Bo Nix will be better, so he just needs to go out and perform now. And we see the defense and their struggles late. We see Bo Nix and the struggles hitting deep passes. But man alive, let's give it up. Give it up for J.K. Dobbins. and give it up for J.K. Dobbins, who needs to get more, by the way. If he doesn't get those 15 carries, I'm going to be Polly Pissy Pants because he needs those 15 carries and deserves more there as well. I am saying week 6 is when I will start judging RJ Harvey. Until then, he's got time to ramp up. We know around the league, there are some rookie backs that have been struggling that we've been excited about. What I saw some Ashton Genty numbers that were incredible about he's getting contacted, like 70% of the time behind the line of scrimmage, whatever the number is. It was just ridiculous. So whether it's Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, other than Cam Scattaboo leading all rookie rushers, by the way, after 3 weeks, and what he's doing to just eat crayons and eat up tacklers. So yeah, RJ Harvey's going to take some time, and you're going to give him week 6 is when you really start judging him. Week 6, because that's when Clinton Portis got going, and that's when Phillip Lindsay got going. So it takes a little bit of time sometimes, but we should see it quickly. Saw it in week 1 with the 50-yard run. Can we see more of that for the Denver Broncos? That's what we will see, and we'll wait on that. So back to the chat room. Looks like Rodney says week 8 for me. There you go. That's okay. Halfway through the season. All right. Let's say Operation Dink and Dunk until Bo gets his mojo back. And the thing is, this season, 29 passes behind the line of scrimmage for Bo Nix. But how many of those are designed? I would venture to say maybe half of those are designed. And then the other half, if there's some sort of swing pass, not a screen pass is set up intentionally to be that play. But like on a swing pass, I still believe Bo Nix is avoiding receivers downfield. I don't believe he's not seeing them. I believe he's just going for kind of the live to fight another day type of play where, maybe at times he should be going to that breaking route that's deep. Trent Sherfield, for example. He missed one as he just swung it out to, I think it was to RJ on the left side. Totally missed Sherfield breaking open. I think Court was getting open. Like, you've got other options. So dink and dunk. Sean's going to get blamed for some of that, but it's not all on Sean. I think there are times when Bo is playing a little nervous. So how can you settle him down? Ground game. That's how you do it. You settle him down with a ground game. Feed Cortland Sutton. Feed Troy Franklin. I thought Franklin could have got a little bit more this time around. So, want to see that happen out there. And that's what you're looking for in terms of, see Franklin involved every single week, like Sutton involved every single week. Mix in some more Marvin Mims. I saw the chat room said, "Where's Pat Bryant?" Rodney, it's good to see you too. Hi. Again, we're all going to get through this loss together. And at the end of the day, it's football. It's nothing serious. And we know there are plenty of serious stuff out there. For the love of God, please. Let's do things a little differently, everybody. And I know that, okay, it's a football game, but it's a football game with a team that should be better than what they're playing, that should have a better record than what they have, and that has disappointed and underachieved in 3 games. Season's too short to do that. Way too short to do that. Rodney says, do you see more RPOs for Bo? Possibly. Something to kind of get him into the mix. He can be a threat to run. I don't want him running as much as he did in week 3 or week 1. At times, you're going to need to. And in fact, if that's the way to kind of settle his mind down, then that's the best way to do it. Chris says, appreciate you. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. I know people have had a lot to say over the last 24 hours about this Broncos team, about me, about whatever, about Bo Nix. Like, all right. Let's watch Bo continue to grow and know that there will be some struggles. There will be some stuff that, he needs to work on. Jenny says, Bo just doesn't want to turn it over. He played a clean game this time around. And Jenny, I will agree that sometimes he just, and he even said it on Wednesday about like, hey, I'm going to still be aggressive, which is good. That's what he should say. That's what he should think. But when it comes to game time, there's just times where he is checking down. Again, Sean Payton calling some screens, maybe too many screens, but there are plenty of moments where Bo Nix is avoiding an open receiver downfield so that he can hit a swing pass. So let's have that conversation. Let's see if Bo Nix can clean that up. I like what Jason says here. Mark Schlereth made a good point this morning. Bo's making the right play almost always. He's just not executing. And that's where, when the execution comes around, this isn't a situation. This goes back to my whole, like, Bo doesn't suck thing, which really, if you can tell, it bothers me, man. I respect the hell out of Broncos country. There's just some dolts out there who just can't stand Bo Nix, and the Todd McShay thing, like, oh, he's a third rounder. Like, I'm hearing all that crap over again. It's really driving me nuts. Driving me just absolutely, I can't stand it. If Bo Nix was some sort of dummy, then you'd be like, well, this is what you get. The kid's talented. He's got an arm, but boy, he's not going to read a defense. I'm not a dummy. But like Stink said, and how Jason's pointed it out, Bo is making the reads. He's making the throws. He's not executing. Now, on top of that, there are times when he's avoiding those wide open throws. So yes, he's making the right plays almost always, but there are moments when he should be a little bit more aggressive. And Cycloptic says, no INTs are a start. Very true. I wanted a clean game. I got a clean game. I just want more wins. I want this team to win, to go to the playoffs, to win the AFC West again. Like, I want all that. So we'll see if the Broncos can get that. Football is life, Mario. That's true. God, family, and then football. There we go. And again, I asked, Chris says, where is Jaleel McLaughlin? They can't keep him down all year, right? Dude added 12 pounds to his upper body. He's going to break a tackle this year. I couldn't say that the last 2 years about Jaleel McLaughlin. And maybe that sounds ridiculous that I'm suggesting a football player can break a tackle, but that was a problem with Jaleel. I don't think it's a problem now. Get him on the field. Get him on the field. I think that's something the Broncos should look to. Thank you, Jenny. Again, appreciate you all out there. Jake says 1 or 2 is not a death sentence. More alarmed that Payton coached the Broncos as such slow starters to the regular season. Yeah, that is odd. Slow starters in games. What were those first 3 drives? My God, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. That's not Broncos football. So, I've asked Joe Lombardi about the first 15. He said it's 12 plays. They go over it, and then it's Sean's call. Well, Sean's making bad calls to start the game. If that's the way it goes, it's bad calls to start the game. So let's get better calls to start the game. You spend all week putting together this game plan. That should mean your first 15, like Mike Shanahan. We're so spoiled to have watched Mike Shanahan coach at the highest level. But we're spoiled from those first 15. Those are supposed to be your best plays. Cycloptic says, what do you think about Moss? He's the second most targeted corner in the league. He's allowing less than 50% of passes to be completed. Could he be better? Yes. Is he out of position too often? In my opinion, yes. But overall, the raw data is like, okay, teams are mostly avoiding Pat Surtain, not Daniel Jones, but mostly avoiding Pat Surtain. They're going after Moss. He's getting cooked, but it's less than 50% passing. And over 3 games, it's roughly 53 yards a game. He's allowing 53 yards a game. So again, when you bring in advanced data, when you look at overall, like, if I were to tell you before the start of the regular season, hey, going to have 3 games, I'm not going to tell you the record, but going to have 3 games, defense going to give up some points. Ray Lamas is going to be the second most targeted corner in the NFL, not on the Broncos, in the NFL. He's clearly the most targeted on the Broncos. And he'd allow 48% passing. I think you all would say, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. 50 yards a game, about 50% completion when you go after Riley Moss. Teams are going to take that. It's just happening at the exact wrong moments. So, Jason, the tape is not great, Bob, for Singleton. Exactly. I like what Nate says. Sean needs to stop with the mass substitutions and confusion. That's kind of what he does. So I'm not sure if he's going to, do that. Although that would be nice, right? The Shaunathon Denver decreasing or getting rid of dumb penalties should definitely be on the top of concerns. Yes, of those 50 things Sean Payton talked about and deep passes were number 50, number one, like the Shaunathon says, has to be getting rid of those dumb penalties. Need to be better. Chris says, Cecil, you said it was going to take a few weeks for our offense to click. Do you feel like it's progressing very slightly, if at all, because of those missed deep shots? Like, I feel Sean might be getting to trust J.K. Dobbins, which is what he needs to do. But man alive, there needs to be more for this Broncos offense. And we'll see how they do on Monday night. On to the Bengals. We're on to Cincinnati. That's right. On to the Bengals. Monday night. Can't wait to see the crowd. Is this a wake-up call? Jesus, I like the way you're thinking there. Could this be the wake-up call? Exactly what the Denver Broncos need. I could see that. All right. How are you feeling? Drop it into the comment section down below here on YouTube. Nate just wants a 100-yard rusher. Want a 100-yard rusher. And then Jason bringing up Kenyon Sadiq. There you go. Yeah, that's look for a tight end early. They should have taken a tight. I mean, Aradi Gadsden was beating them, and he's a 5th rounder. They should have taken this year. So either way, I can always talk draft. I can always talk Broncos. You guys made me feel better. So thank you. Last night's postgame show, I had too many trolls, and I cannot stand trolls. And I guess it's my own fault for reading what trolls say, but trolls are awful. I hope you feel better if you're a Bo Nix troll today. So yes, you guys, the OBT crowd has helped me tremendously. I'm sure our man Andrew Mason appreciates you always as well. Mason will be back on the case tomorrow. We're here for you. Wednesday we'll be out at Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit. Thursday we'll be out at Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit. Friday I'm on assignment, but Mason will be here holding it down. We'll do our normal pregame show, on Sunday. That should release Sunday sometime. And then Monday, here we go. Let's get it on. Broncos, Bengals, Monday Night Football, Week 4. And I am here for it. All right, for Andrew Mason, you follow him on all the socials, at Mace Denver. I'm at C Salami saying OBT's a BFD. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty?
For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos Country. Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team. And now, we are honored to be the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.